Hello, everyone. Welcome to EcoEconUG. As usual, my name is Tijila Tetlock. I want to welcome you for yet another video. You're well aware that the discussions on rodent has already started. Uh, I gave you a ground breaking yesterday. I introduced rodents to you, but like I promised you in the previous video, is that I am going to be centering more on the rodents that belongs to the subclass. I mean the suborder called Hystricomorpha. And in this case, I'm going to be more specific on the family Thyromidae, or what we call the Thyronomes swindiorenius and the Thyronomes gregorianus. Ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about the cane rats, the greater cane rats and the lesser cane rats. Uh, in some part of West Africa, it is more known as grass cutters. And basically, the namings come from the behavior, actually, most the feeding behavior. The fact that it likes cane-like grasses, predominantly likes cane rat. I mean sugar canes. That's why we call it cane rats. And then because it's always cutting grasses, that's why some part of West Africa they call it grass cutters. So wherever you know it, either it's cane rats or grass cutters. Some people call it edible rats, even within our actually locality here, which is still okay because it's more of descriptive of its feeding behavior. That's how the naming came. But scientifically, we know them as Thyronomes swindiorenius or Thyronomes gregorianus. That those are the the two major known species of the cane rats. Like I told you, there is a drive to domesticate this animal. So, what is the allure? What is the driving force behind the idea of domesticating these cane rats? One, it relies in the level of quality of meat it provides. By the way, uh, you may not know, but cane rat meat has the highest quality compared to any of the conventional livestock you know, whether it being mutton, whether it's being beef, pork, or chicken, or even meat of rabbit. Cane rats provides the highest quality of meat. Forget about chicken. Cane rats has the best meat. It has the highest protein content than meat of any conventional livestock. It has the highest protein content with the lowest cholesterol levels. That means you can virtually eat it every day and you don't run the risk of suffering from cardiovascular problems because it has very low cholesterol levels compared to the rest of the conventional livestock. Uh, as you know, cholesterols uh, you need a maximum of 200 milligram per deciliter of total cholesterols in your blood. Uh, Cholesterol is divided into two. We have what we call the low density lipoprotein, which is called the bad cholesterol, and the one responsible for deposition of fat along the arteries, and therefore it is the major drivers to cardiovascular problems. That one, its level should not exceed 130 milligram per deciliter in a human being. And then we have what we call the good cholesterols or the high density lipoprotein. The high density lipoprotein again is needed from 40 milligrams per deciliter in men, and then 50 uh, milligram per deciliter in female. It has to be above. The good one has to be more, while the bad one does not need to exceed. The low density lipoprotein does not need to exceed 130. But in total, when you add them up in the body, these cholesterols need not to exceed 200 milligram per deciliter in terms of concentration in your blood. So cane rats provides the lowest cholesterol levels compared to any other uh, conventional livestock that you know. And that is the reason why we are trying to bring it up. Ladies and gentlemen, apart from the quality of the meat it provides, there is also one obvious fact that it provides food, more cheaply available food, because you can keep it virtually everywhere in a bucket, you can keep it in a very small cage, you can keep it in your backyard everywhere. So you are going to expand the pool from which you're going to obtain food, and that means you're going to fight hunger. And that aligns with the Sustainable Development Goal number 2, which talks about zero hunger by 2030. Uh, Also, well researched and known is that to keep grass cutters, it requires less labor, less feeds, and less water compared to other conventional livestock, and yet it accrues a similar or even more economically better profits or proceeds than the conventional livestock. So the fact that it requires less labor, less land, less water, and less feed means it has small if uh, imprint on an, footprint on the environment. And that again, ladies and gentlemen, will align to Sustainable Development Goals number 12, which talks about sustainable use and production and consumption of food. It has to be sustainable. Then thirdly, since it is one of the most hunted animal species in the bush, you see hunters go there in an attempt to get them. They burn, so they destroy ecosystems. There are a lot of things they do. So the idea of bringing them, the concept of bringing them here is that we are going to reduce the hunting pressures on the environment. And that again aligns with yet another sustainable development goal. This time it's sustainable development goal number 15, which talks about the protection of the terrestrial ecosystems. So that the idea or the allures to bring these cane rats home is actually grounded on those very important reasons. But above them all is the quality of meat they provide. Research also shows that a food that you eat should provide for you as maximum nutrient as possible so that you eat less. If the eat food that is low in nutrient that your body needs, then you are likely to eat more. And the more you eat, the more you need to harvest it from the environment and therefore having environmental footprints. So there is a correlation between the nutrient you take, the uptake of nutrient, vis-a-vis its impact on the environment. Ladies and gentlemen, these cane rats, if it comes, it is going to improve Africans' diet in terms of protein uptake. Right now, as we speak, Africa is standing at a significant uh, uh, position, which is far from the rest of the world. For example, Africa is only taking up 15% of the global per capita protein intake. In contrast, our European counterparts are taking up to 55% of the global per capita protein intake. Nigeria, which is the biggest economy in Africa, which is the most populous country in Africa, the one that we can happily use as a yardstick to measure African growth, is only taking up 33% of the global, 33% of what is required as protein intake in a normal setting. Therefore, there is a disparity that we need to address. And therefore, Africa needs to get creative in trying to get us protein sources, which this time must transcend the confines of the conventional livestock practices. And that is the reason why cane rat is the idea of bringing them home to close that gap is taking a new shape all over Africa. It started in West Africa, but right now it's growing, it's expanding to parts of Africa, including East Africa. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the bottom line, the reasons why we think domestication of cane rat is an idea whose time has come. Thank you very much for listening. See you next time for more videos on these cane rats. I remain TG Laterlock. Welcome to EcoEconUG. Subscribe, like the pages, invite your friends, have fun, comment, tell me what you think. Thank you very much.